So I'm from Nevermind, co-founder, CEO. Um, we're less of a pure AI company. We're more of a data company for AI. I think everybody's conscious of the fact that we've seen a massive explosion in the AI space in the last 12 months. So we look at the world in kind of three ways. What do AIs need? They need compute, they need expertise to build them, and then they need shit piles of data. So we're hyper-focused on the last piece. So my background, just so everybody's kind of familiar, I spent basically a career in IT consulting, building out data estates for big companies like HSBC, AXA, L'Oreal, Sharp, etc. And I cut my teeth during the age of big data. So started right before big data really started to blossom, and then witnessed its evolution over time. And one of the things we witnessed were, a couple of things that seem to be being replicated.
I have to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
And sorry, I didn't realize that you couldn't hear me. I need you to hit present, and then I can add your slides to the stream.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I thought I was unmuted this whole time. Okay, cool. Here's your slides. Let me get out.
Got it? Okay. You can now see. All right. So, but you guys could hear me, right? Where the hell are the comments? Okay, cool. So I'm just going to rip through this then. So yeah, one of the things that we witnessed in the big data space was I remember when I started, if we wanted to do really advanced analytics, and this was 25 years ago, we're probably going to use an appliance from one of the big compute providers. And that for one use case would cost upwards of 10 million bucks a year. So it was just a crazy amount of money to spend, and therefore it didn't scale very much. But then there was the release of the white paper on MapReduce, and that led to the team at Yahoo developing Hadoop. And then that led to basically the explosion in big data. And the driver there was we moved away from these fit for purpose specific appliance machines and towards leveraging commodity hardware. So I think what we're probably going to witness in the future is a move away from expensive hardware and towards cheaper commoditized systems that'll help us compute. The other thing we also witnessed is as big data became more popular, more people entered into the fray, and what that did was it increased the amount of expertise that was in the domain space, and the result of that was it drove the prices down for that expertise. The one thing that we did witness is that on the data side, while the unit costs may have gone down, that was met by an increase in the complexity of the data sets. So the actual aggregate cost of creating and maintaining the data didn't actually go down, and it likely went up for most organizations. And so that's kind of our framing for everything that we do at Nevermind. We believe that in the long run, data will prove to be the biggest rate limiter to AI advancement. So we're super focused on how do we make information and data sets more accessible, and provide outlets for the wide swath of applications and use cases that are going to leverage this new technology. From a constraint point of view, again, like I said, data will be a primary bottleneck for AI. Also, as I think we're all sort of conscious, there's this lack of transparency. There's the black box issues. There's definitely copyright infringement and IP protection problems. Getty suing Stability AI is a great example of that. And then there's also the lack of monetization, and that's where we're specifically focused at present as an organization. So one of the things that we're saying is, and kind of anticipating is that AIs won't have bank accounts. So how are they going to transact? I think a lot of us that are on this call, or this conference will agree and are biased that these AI agents will likely transact via wallets on blockchains. So how do we enable that? So we need to address the fact that overall the UX still sucks, and this is why we created the Nevermind app, which we're going to launch in 2 weeks' time. In addition to supporting, the registration access and publishing data sets and AI services, we have come up with a novel application for NFTs. So in the course of the last 7 years or so in this space, myself and my co-founders and our team, we've built a lot of different marketplaces, and the user experience in particular for Web3 marketplaces is horrendous. If you take, for example, a DeFi data marketplace, you're a quant, you want to do back testing, you want to back test across 12 months worth of data from 5 different DeFi protocols. You're looking at like 60 confirms through MetaMask to get access to those data sets at a minimum, probably more than that, because it's probably more than 1 confirm per asset, per data set. It's just a ridiculously horrible experience. So we came up with the concept of subscription NFTs, where basically you create a wrapper for assets. They could be data sets, they could be AI agents, they could be associated services, third-party services, etc. And what you can do is set the, currently you can set the time window for which you can gain access. So we have some off-the-shelf canned windows, like 1 month, 1 year. You can set a free subscription if you want. There's also the possibility to create a bespoke subscription where you can set the time period that you want to avail access to your assets. And then you can also set the price. Initially, we'll support USDC, but we can support any ERC20 token, and we will launch on Polygon and Gnosis. But anyway, the idea here is you create basically a bucket, and that bucket's represented by an NFT that can be used to token gate access to the underlying assets that you append or stick into that bucket. And then you can control the period for which those assets are actually available. So what do you get with the app? You get an asset registry, you get access control provisioning, and you get the means to monetization. That's one of the big things that we've seen in the space so far. Is sort of a lack of monetization capabilities for those that are developing AI agents specifically. So what we do see are the platform providers, the open AIs, the stability AIs, et cetera, their ability to monetize and capture value from the services that they're providing as platform vendors or as service vendors. But those that are building on top lack the native means to actually start to monetize and capture the value of the services they're creating. So we created Nevermind, the Nevermind app. And this is the app itself. I think I'm probably running out of time, but I can start to show you some of the functionality. Here's where you would create your subscription, your plan. You set the description of your plan. So a novel subscription to really important data. And we'll say this is DeFi data set. Add the tag. And here are your options for the term that you want to set the plan's validity to, or the access, essentially. And you can set the price if you want. And the way that we operate, we take a 1% fee from the sale of the asset. So the publisher only has to pay for the gas fees. But if that asset is actually sold, and I'm not going to wait for this to go, but if you come back to the marketplace, you can start to see these assets. We're toying around internally. Our CTO created an Elvis assistant, which basically allows you to query or summarize Elvis songs. So actually I'm not sure if you can see it. You probably can't. But in our Discord, if you were to go into this service, you can buy the service. I will buy it. And this will give me access. Oh, great. It failed. So I won't get access right now, but it gives you access to the API endpoint with the encrypted JWT token. And I can use that and embed it into a Discord bot. And then I can start querying that bot from Discord. And I can, type in the name of the song when I ask the bot to do an action, and it'll give me the summary. And that's, I think, all I've got for now.